I'm Elton Robinson with your November 11th grain and oilseed update. This is the third day after America made a former game show host their president. The following day, the stock market rose over 250 points, but the commodities markets were less enthusiastic, as corn and soybean futures promptly fell 20 cents and 13 cents a bushel, respectively. For Ag Secretary, the president-elect is looking at a couple of governors, a couple of agribusiness executives, a farmer, a handful of ag organization leaders, and a few current state ag secretaries. The U.S. corn harvest is winding down, with 86% of the crop now in the bins. That's behind last year's pace, but slightly ahead of the 5-year average. 84% of the grain sorghum crop has been gathered, which is ahead of both last year and the 5-year average. 93% of the nation's soybean crop is harvested, also on pace with last year and the 5-year average. And peanut harvest is also winding down, with 86% complete, also ahead of both last year and the 5-year average. 91% of the U.S. winter wheat crop is planted, which is about on pace with previous years. 79% has emerged, and 58% is considered in good to excellent condition. Rice harvest is essentially complete. And now for the latest export report for the period ending November the 3rd. Wheat exports of 380,000 metric tons were up 16% from the previous week and 6% from the prior 4-week average, with Japan, Mexico, and South Korea as top destinations. Corn exports of 892,000 metric tons were up 3% from the previous week and from the prior 4-week average, with Mexico, Colombia, Japan, Peru, and Chile as primary destinations. Grain sorghum exports of 89,000 metric tons were up noticeably from the previous week and from the prior 4-week average. China once again took the lion's share, followed by Mexico and Japan. Rice exports of 47,000 metric tons were down 49% from the previous week and 34% from the prior 4-week average. Honduras, Haiti, and Mexico were top customers. Soybean exports of 2.8 million metric tons were down 5% from the previous week's marketing year high, but up 14% from the prior 4-week average. Primary destinations included China, which took a little over 2 million tons. Soybean meal exports of 243,000 metric tons were reported to the Philippines, Dominican Republic, Denmark, Thailand, and Canada. Soybean oil exports of 5,200 metric tons were reported to Mexico and Canada. Beef exports of 18,900 metric tons was a marketing year high, up 89% from the previous week and 49% from the prior 4-week average. South Korea, Japan, and Hong Kong took the lion's share of those exports. Meanwhile, pork exports of 21,000 metric tons were down 7% from the previous week, but up 6% from the prior 4-week average. Well, that's it for this week's report. I'm Elton Robinson. See you next time.